Good morning and welcome. This is your crypto a day morning. Today's date, that would be Tuesday, the 30th day of October 2018. All bets, trades of the like within your own risk reward. Risk reward management for myself is always job number one. For you can take a look at the Bitcoin price, your favorite coins price. You know what? The favorite price to me is that of my portfolio priced in whichever asset class, whether that be dollars or Bitcoin or whatever, and the value of such there. And through trades, well, you can do very well in increasing your bankroll. At least I have within myself, starting with very low amounts, turning into very decently good trading values. And now what can I turn low amounts to decent, starting with decent? Well, we'll see as time moves on, because if the markets go way up or if they go in a nice choppy up and down kind of range, either way, I'm going to be looking to profit within these markets. So within Bitcoin's prices or chart yesterday, the price of such having the move down below the 18 average of lows and really hanging in there. Today's session, which is from 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right now it's 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time, so therefore barely past the halfway point. Volatility, differential, exactly 49 basis points. I need 62 for 1%, because 62.4, if that was the differential with a low of 62.40, that would be 1% volatility. So it remains really tiny. As before, since that last up move, major support was found at around 63.50. Major resistance was found roughly, well, at first at 64.87, and then that got downgraded to about 64.71. Then it resisted up towards 64.50. So high 64 was the resistance level, and since the fall, it's just managed to hang in there, doing a lot of small up and down movements. Still not too sure what to digest from the moves. And technically, it's the same deal within this. I mean, this thing is barely moving at all when looking at such on a 3-day term time frame. These 4 of these candles in here just barely noticeable. And even this one, it's just barely going below the 18. The pattern has been matching lows. 6,000, I'm right, got the mouse near 6,100. It's been down as low as like 58 down in here. This pierce low was 5,920. So it hasn't broken that area, but it's obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and even all of this nonsense jazz in here, 6 lower highs in a row. However, it can still make it 6 lower high at around, well, anything below the this level here, anything below 6,800. And still, I guess, if it's hasn't gotten above the 18, if it were to say rally up to say 60 or 7,000, which is lower than the September highs, I would still say that's a lower high. It's still got that indecisive pattern, because it's got to do something to put this pattern into higher highs, higher lows, rising 18. The price is majority above the 18 average of highs, or barely at all below the 18 of lows, spending basically all of its time above and within a rising 18 average, as was the case, of course, throughout pretty much all of 2016 and 2017. As we can see in here. So this pattern to me has got to end at some point. I'm going to stop talking about this because I've talked a lot about it. I got a bunch of altcoins to go over. 4 different crossings that I had made trades since yesterday's video. The first being that of Golem, ticker symbol GNT. Yesterday getting a buy at 25.02 with the low coming in at 24.71. And now that this has happened, I got a sell order at the previous high area at 28.74. That would be a differential of 370 basis points So we're looking at about 15%. Now within this coin, I trade this on the X amount, meaning it always has to be worth the same. Therefore, if the sell comes into play after the sell is all over, the golem value will be worth exactly the same as it was when I buy it at 25.02. So I'll sell what is needed. So basically I'll sell about 15%. And same thing if it comes down to 22.09. That's where my buy order would be, which would represent this area of previous resistance and this area of previous support, but more importantly, a differential of 300 points or that of a 15% decline. As far as how this pattern is looking, well, it's changed the direction of trend. From the down trend had this sideways area where it resisted first at the 2500, which we can see was support, resisting again at about 27, having a decent amount of time above it, but not much. But now it's coming back to the first time in this run. I can't say that. First time to a rising 18 average, because it technically did so in... you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say that. Every time it came back, it was barely rising here. It was still trying to develop a bull market. This is what the statement did when it broke this level of resistance. It's like, hey, market change. It's done what it's supposed to do, getting like stage 4, getting above established resistance. And it's now came back to that correctionary band, which is why the 18 is rising as well. Getting above this area in here, ooh, that could go pretty good breaking it. So I'm going to sell before it happens. And then if it does break it, then I'll look to sell next at about like at least a 20% move here. Because my feeling is if it gets past this point, it's got a long ways to go. And if I sell, say, at like 3,500 even, that would be a differential of like over 600 basis points, which would then be 20%, because I want to try to get the best percentage gains and losses for that matter that I can, in the sense that if the price is going to go way high, I would rather sell at say 37 than at 31 if I know it's going to 37, that is, because I'll long term get a better deal. Just like if I could wait for a deeper price correction and I know there's a good chance it's going to come in. But because I got this buy at 2,500, I'm now able to sell here. Whereas, say if it bottomed at, say, 2,600 or 2,520 or something, and then it started going up, I would have no business selling. I will have literally no business selling at this level, and would just, again, wait for the breakout above resistance. Okay, next coin is Gigabyte, or DGB. And this was a buy at 327 yesterday. So we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame. This is Bitrex's numbers. So on Poloniex, which is where I bought it at, it went to 327. So let me just put that one up instead. And the 327 would have been part of this move here, as it hit a low of 326. So therefore, it's time to put buy and sell orders in. But Gigabyte, I trade differently than the other ones. This I own more of such, maybe 4 or 5 times more than a minimum size order. 6 times more maybe. And because of such, I can sell for smaller volatile moves. My next orders, that would be a buy at 312 or a sell at 373. So therefore, I'm looking to buy back. If I'm buying here at a differential of 327 down to 312, that's a differential of 15 points. So that's about a 1.5 or 5% rather, but a 5% differential from the low to the high. And the differential from my low 327 to 373, that would be about 46 basis points. And on top of 327, that works out to like 12-13%. And within such, I'm only selling fraction. But basically, it's the same as Komodo, which I'm going to be talking about soon as well. Whereas, let's just assume that when I sell 10 units of something. That means within such, maybe I'll buy back 11.2. Then I'm going to put a sell order for 10 again, which means this 1.2 will be held for way up top when the prices go up much higher, and then I'll just liquidate when those times appear to be in play. So then when I sell at 10, whatever amount that I sell it for, I'll buy it back. And again, if I'm doing about a little over 10%, I'll be allowed to buy about 11.2 on such a degree. And of course, with bigger volatile moves, you could be turning 10 into 12 or 15 or 20 or even 30, depending on how aggressive you want to play. Okay, now I gotta delete this. I'm just gonna pause the tape and gosh, we're gonna go to the next code, which will be that of Komodo, as I was saying. And as I left off yesterday, I had a buy order in at 20.33, which we can see the price is, that's where it's at now. Or I had a buy order at 20.31 rather, the price is in at 20.33. And then I bought below down to, the low here is 19.95. So I had a larger buy at the 20 handle, given that I sold basically a double sell. So I sold some at 22 change and I bought it back at 20, plus an additional one from before. I got just a small extra amount, but I'm doing this over and over and over again. Don't be surprised to see a lot of trades come into place, because how I'm doing this is every time it moves up or down, every percent plus, 1.3, 1.5%, it's going to activate another buy or sell order. So I could have 15, 20 sell orders, and I did with some of these runs in a row. My new buy order is in at 19.91. My new sell order is in at 22.08. And within such, we can take a look at this, say, on a single hour time frame. Actually, I'm going to do a little bit longer than that, the 3 hour, that does well. Again, you can see these moves. So everything that I'm buying was stuff that was sold up here. And thus, I'm getting just small gains every single time. But the way I look at it, I'm looking at the amount that I own of these things. And considering the price is where it's at, I have as many now as I did back like in here when it was at like 18.3. So I've had some gains on my portfolio along the way, because with these moves here, and they've all worked out well for me. Sell up here, comes back down, small amount of buying. More selling, a lot of buying down here. And then up to this high in here, selling, buy back instantly, maybe a small sell in here, buying in here, small sell up here, buying down here, and then selling up here, then back and forth. I can't remember how much choppy action I had, but with the low of 17.65 and a high of 18.19, not much. But bottom line is selling on the way up in here, buying at this low here at 18.47 when I could, which meant because I bought down at here, I could sell up here, maybe a bit of buying down here. All the selling up here is mentioned. And then some buybacks here at 21. It went from 2100 to 22. And I didn't sell up here. Nope. But now I am trying to sell at 2208. And when this thing is ready to go for big gains, what I'll do at different times is just throw in extra sell orders, because that's why I talk about this was, I bought more at 21, because as it was rallying, I'm like, it was past 2200. It was like somewhere in the 2230 or so range, 20 in that point. I ended up selling about 170% more than a normal order. And there's a lot of them, but I should have done more. And I did the sale, and then I put my buy order back in for like 20025-ish or so. And I was able to get back a little more than 10% back. So it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. But get to the point where I see big situations when it goes up, just sell more than that's intended, with the intention, of course, buying them back on the correctionary moves. But in the situation when this thing gets going, because it really hasn't yet, then I can start to take a look at making some serious sells when I see this get up to the 60 into the 70, 80. But then when that thing goes maybe 3, 4, 5x from there, and any of those gains after that, even 3x from there, really seriously start to distribute these coins, because it's always the same with them. They go down, they go up, and they have big gains on both the up and the downside. And the last trade that I made, and it's been frustrating me, Block Mason Credit Protocol, and at 1947, I got a buy order for 1702. I was expecting it to hit when I would wake up this morning. Rather, it hasn't. And a sell order already in at 22.95. Let's take a look at this on a short-term time frame. Okay, so as I was going to bed last night, this is what I went to. And I thought about buying. I really, really did consider just, you know what, let's just go buy it right now. And because I didn't, I've lost out on a sell opportunity. Oh well, so be it. That's part of how the game is going. But it successfully corrected this 18 average on the single hour time frame very, very beautifully. Is that a word even, beautifully? Well, if it's not, I'm going to use it. And I did. And, well, what's happened is it's now broken this established resistance from yesterday's session. So I'll be looking to sell, of course, within that particular area of place. But I was even considering making a major sell. And if I would have sold it big there, I would have definitely, I think, bought it back. It's tough for me to say. However, and even back here, I was considering buying it back, which would have given me a sell. There was a few opportunities where I'm like, oh man, I would have won. And you know what, so be it, because there's going to be so many different situations where I can get quote unquote unlucky and still going to work on the end game result. But daily term time frame, I really, really do like the look of the setup within this market. Let's just quickly look at a bunch of other ones before finishing this video off. Next one is Chainlink. And within this one, after establishing the level of resistance on October the 23rd, nice correctionary move. And it looks like it's ready to possibly take it out as it's leaving the 18 average of highs at this stage from what was a support area. It's getting past the shorter term levels of resistance in here. We can see that to be the case at 69.30, big level 69.92, even up to like 71.78, but it's higher than that now, 72.72. As far as let me put my lines in for where I'm trading this next. And with the buy order at 61.11, a sell at 78.96. What it meant that, oh, I missed out. See, look at this low here, 61.55. I missed it by 44 points. So that's where I talk about quote unquote unlucky that I was unable to get the hit there. It also meant that price action pierced above this previous high at 6,100. And then if you're wondering why I chose 61.11, that was the reason. But nice looking setup for Chainlink. Populous is next. It's something I'm not going to trade for a while unless a big move happens. And you know what? It's more likely that if I trade this anywhere in the next 2 days, it's going to be a sell order than it would be a buy order. Markets usually go up a lot faster than they go down, but I got a long ways to go to either buy at 47 or sell at 65. But I like the setup right now where it may just, in fact, maybe come up to this area. As after this rally top on October the 9th, it managed to successfully correct the 18 average, support the general area that it generally resisted from, and then this general resistance area from after this move. So from October 11th through that of October 18th, 19th, resistance was at around 52 change. Not even higher, but around 52. But that's where we supported. So the situation where it was 18 low support, then 18 high resistance, it overall supported where it came from. Now we can see a situation here where it's looking like it's ready to leave the 18 average of highs. And doing so, well, maybe I should put a sell order near the 6,000 number, but I'm going to put it near the 64. If that comes into place, I'd be looking to buy probably at around 5,500 in this area here. And then I put another sell order probably at around 75, 76, maybe even up to 8,000. See, I would even think 83, 84, but 79 is more safe type deal. Okay, that'll be it for today's video since it's now broken the 20-minute mark. As far as time is concerned, I know some people love it, some people hate it. I'm doing it as I want to do it and I feel is best presented for what I want to explain. So expect these 20-minute videos to continue out through the rest of the week. Take care. Bye-bye.